Hey everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me for the third episode into this FIFA 15 European Super League, where 20 of the finest teams across Europe have come together to enter this league to battle it out for a season to determine who the best really is. And that season is already underway, and it's been a bit of a stuttering start for Manchester United. First game of the season, we were at Old Trafford against Bayern Munich. It ended in a 0-0 draw, a very tight game there, but the second game, Manchester United lost 2-1 at the San Siro against AC Milan, leaving us all the way down in 17th with just a point to our name. Our third game of this European Super League season was against Barcelona under the floodlights of Old Trafford, and this is what it's going to be like week in, week out. Cup final after cup final almost, and I knew we were going to have to pull out all the stops, seeing that we've already got off to a bit of a shaky start this season, not even having a win to our name yet. And because I'm playing this on Legendary, and because I'm playing every game on Legendary, I'm really pushing myself out there. I knew it was going to be a very difficult challenge against Barcelona. We know what they're like. Surely Neymar, Messi, they can absolutely destroy your back four with the help of Iniesta and Busquets, and they had their architect Xavi on the bench for this game, fortunately. And as Martin Tyler always likes to pick up on, there was a battle within the wall for this game. Dani Alves coming up against his former side at Barcelona. There was no messing around with Manchester United as soon as they got the proceedings underway in the first half against Barcelona. We had to hit them with speed and aggression. It was like a full frontal assault on Barcelona's back four, and Manchester United just kept coming. But we had to be careful of that counter from Barcelona, as we know that they've got their pacey players in Neymar and Messi up front, and they, as I've already mentioned, they can tear you apart. And you can see that once they broke out of that bombardment almost from Manchester United early on in this game, they had Rafinha up front, Messi coming forwards with Montoya in support down the right channel, and all this happened within just the first couple of minutes of the game. I knew it was going to be a battle of two heavyweights coming together in the main event. It would be Barcelona that would get the first shot away, coming from Iniesta, who struck it low and hard, seeking out that bottom left-hand corner, but De Gea stood his ground, couldn't hold on to it. He saved it with his shins almost, and again, Barcelona almost made it 1-0 moments later with that opportunity from Pedro. The feeling out process for both teams had come and gone, and I was just thankful that it had passed so quickly, because it can make or break the match, because you can go and concede so early on, especially against a team like Barcelona. And I would certainly say that the first 10 or 15 minutes it was all Barcelona, but as the match went on we started to grow in confidence going forwards, and that would be pretty evident with this chance from Wayne Rooney, who received the ball perfectly from Michael Carrick, hit it on the volley with his left foot. He had to Stegen beaten, but it just whizzed past the post. I mean, it was at the perfect height as well to be nestling in to the back of the net. And that had Barcelona worried. And Iniesta almost came up with an absolute beauty of a goal. He was almost in goal-scoring mode after coming up with two worrying chances for Manchester United that really got De Gea working. And I think Wayne Rooney was in the same boat as Iniesta. You know, it's almost like a rat race to get the first goal of the game between United and Barcelona. That was always going to be the case. And in massive games like this, if there's a little bit of space, you got to get in it and you got to take your chance. You just got to have a go, basically, because not many opportunities are going to present themselves in a game like this. So there will definitely be more shots like that to come throughout this game for not just United, but for Barcelona as well. Now, with both teams still at deadlock with just over 10 minutes to go, the Old Trafford faithful were there, urging the team on, singing 20 times over and over, and it was certainly giving me a little bit of a boost as well whilst playing this game. It almost seemed as though it had some sort of effect on the Barcelona players, as though they were a bit standoffish. They didn't want to, in a way, upset the United crowd. And there certainly was a shift in momentum in favour of Manchester United. I mean, the majority of the game, it was all Barcelona, and it does pain me to say that. I know we could have done a lot better. And I had a feeling with just under 10 minutes to go now that something special was to come right at the end of the game. I mean, Gundogan struck the ball here outside the box. Again, you've got to take that chance if it does present itself. But Ter Stegen managed to bundle it, and that will prove to be the final chance of the game. We went on in the end to draw against Barcelona, so that's our second draw of the season. We're still yet to win a game. We just about pipped Barcelona in possession with 52% seen of the ball, but you can see that we had 2 shots over 90 minutes and none were on target, and Barcelona had 6 and 5 were on target, which meant that the one, the only, David De Gea was our man of the match again. A week later, Manchester United would be travelling to Turkey to take on Shakhtar Donetsk. I was looking forward to this fixture, as I was looking at it as an easier game, you know, to what we've already gone up against, like Bayern, AC Milan and Barcelona. But again, Shakhtar, they couldn't be underestimated. They're a team that are unpredictable, and because it was being played on Legendary, you just don't know what's going to happen. And to be fair, they've got some pretty decent players in their team. You know, they've got Wellington Nem, they've got Douglas Costa. You'll see their starting lineup in a minute. I mean, they was going for a 4-2-3-1. I was thinking that they were going to be relying on the counter-attack, maybe just going full-out attack. And here you can see their team. So they were starting with Fred, Douglas Costa and Fernando, who they seem to go through. He's like the central of operations there for Shakhtar in central midfield. But on the bench, it was pretty strong looking from their point of view. Tyson, Wellington Nem, as I've already mentioned, and Coutinho. Now for Manchester United's lineup, I decided to actually start Gundogan for this game. De Gea in goal after picking up that Man of the Match award against Barcelona. Robin van Persie started the game up front, which meant I dropped Rooney down into that central attacking mid-role. Fellaini was starting, but Herrera, I didn't even put him on the bench because he was lacking match fitness, and I thought there was just no point of him being here for this game against Shakhtar. Now, taking you guys back to the start of this episode when I showed you the league table before that Barcelona fixture, Shakhtar were rock bottom. They were yet to pick up a point after they found it pretty difficult to get going. I mean, they've come up against some strong opposition in Chelsea, and I think they've also played Real Madrid somewhere in there, so they've found it difficult to get going. And of course, meaning that they haven't really picked up any points yet, but I'm sure they will as the season goes on. But it looked like things were going from bad to worse for Shakhtar, as it would be Robin van Persie who would grab the first goal in this game for Manchester United. That's our second goal in 4 games. Now, I don't want to be seen as blowing my own trumpet and all, but it seemed to be a bit of a masterstroke starting Van Persie for this game. It certainly added an extra edge to it for Manchester United. Because for the previous 3 games, I've been playing Rooney up front, and then maybe in the second half dropping him back into that central attacking mid-role and bringing on Falcao in his position. But I think Rooney is definitely more effective for me in that central attacking mid-role. So I think for the majority of games this season, I'm going to be going with Van Persie and Falcao as my striker. Now with 23 minutes gone, Robin van Persie almost doubled United's lead with a cheeky attempt to lob the keeper as he came out to meet Robin van Persie. He was right there, and how Van Persie completely missed the target, I don't know. It's almost like an open goal. It was just there waiting for him to put the ball into the back of the net, and it just goes wide. So disappointed, because I think that would have been a very nice rounded off goal for Manchester United to take into the second half. Now we did get a free kick, 31 minutes gone, 18 yards out. He decided to give it to Robin van Persie, and he hammered the ball against the post. Every opportunity he was getting, he was coming so close to scoring a goal, and I had a feeling that if this kept up, then maybe in the second half he would grab another goal or 2. Di Maria also hit the same post, ran about the same sort of area as Van Persie did earlier in the game, looking to make it 2-0, but got denied in the process. We kept plugging away though, looking to double our leads to take into the second half, and we could probably sit back and be a little bit more comfortable then. But as Rooney pulls the ball back, it opens up that little bit of space for Young to stay in and strike the ball first time, getting that second goal eventually for Manchester United. I was a bit surprised by Shakhtar's defending here, especially Cerna, who's a well-experienced right back. He pulled in as though he was there to clear up the danger, but he failed to make a challenge whatsoever. Maybe he was a bit standoffish because he didn't want to concede a penalty, but because he didn't make that challenge, he conceded a goal for his own team as the keeper was unable to get to the ball. It just clipped the inside of the post, and we did go in at half-time 2-0 up. Things did change though come the second half, and it was all in favour of Shakhtar. They were so desperate to get back in this game. They didn't want to stay rock bottom of this European Super League. They wanted to make sure that they could get maybe a point from this game, looking at it from a realistic point of view. And Fernando here, who wasn't really central, found Cerner. They were all out attack, and Tyson found Douglas Costa, who has an incredible left foot and right, to be fair, with such power behind it. David De Gea pulling off a tremendous save, keeping United in the lead and keeping that clean sheet intact, but it almost went down the drain as Tyson came in with a powerful right-footed shot. And De Gea, how he was pulling off these saves, I don't know. He is Super Dave, isn't he? And so with De Gea standing his ground and being superb throughout the whole 90 minutes against Shakhtar, we did go on to win 2-0 away from home. That is our first win of this European Super League. So happy to get that under our belt now. I'm not sure how Valdez would have got on in that situation with those 3 chances from Shakhtar. Would he have conceded? I'm not sure. And finally, Wayne Rooney was the man of the match after his contribution towards the result. That's all from me then, guys. Thanks for watching.